So Ben, thanks for joining me here. I'm just going to do a little intro for our interview. So my name is John Watts. I'm now working for Friends Journal as the videographer here, and just going to do a really quick plug at the beginning for the YouTube channel that we're launching in March, which is called Quaker Speak, and folks can subscribe to that over at youtube.com/QuakerSpeak, and that's going to be interviews every week, kind of like this one. So I'm excited to be talking here today with Ben, and Ben, you're going to have to help me with the pronunciation of your last name. So that's my first question.
Guaraldi. Yeah,
with a hard G.
Guaraldi, hard G. But in
Guaraldi.
Italy, they pronounce it Guaraldi.
Guaraldi. All right, great. I think I'm going to go with the American version.
Okay.
Great. And so Ben and a group of Quakers up in New England just made this YouTube video, which is a spoof of this viral hit on YouTube called "What Does the Fox Say?" and their own spoof has sort of gone viral. It got picked up by the Huffington Post and spread around by friends all over the internet. So Ben, I wonder if you could just start us off by telling us a little bit about how the idea originated, and tell us a little bit about the video that you are parodying.
Yeah, so there's this video called, and if you haven't seen it, I recommend that you check it out. It's called The Fox, right? And it's by a Norwegian comedy duo named Ylvis. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I'm not sure. And they had this relationship with these techno producers, where they made a video for the techno producers, and the techno producers recorded them a song, but didn't write lyrics or anything like that. And Ylvis heard the song, and they made this hilarious and ridiculous video that's sort of a parody itself of children's music, about what what sound a fox makes. And if you've ever actually listened to a fox, which you can also do on YouTube, it's a pretty wacky sound. So there's this hilarious video, right? And it's pretty, like removing the word "the" and putting the word "George" to refer to George Fox is, a pretty, like, it begged to be done. And I can't remember, I'd seen it on Quaker Problems, that meme where they talk about, the different problems that mostly liberal friends have. And so I'd seen that on Quaker Problems. Somebody had done a "What Does George Fox Say?" And then Lisa Graustein, who is a member of New England Yearly Meeting, sent us all an email like, "We have to do this. We have to make a music video." And then I kind of took the ball and ran with it. I think the original idea was something that sort of was more jokey about Friends and more sort of in-jokey about Friends. But it quickly morphed into something like, okay, so what is the core message that George Fox had? And my attempt was to make a video that made that message more known to people who weren't Quaker. And also, you've probably seen this Snapple cap that's been coming out recently. Is it Snapple? No, it's Nantucket Nectars. And they're giving facts about Nantucket, which is this place in New England. And one of the facts they give is Quakers used to live here, but they're all dead. And this is like a fact that's like on a bottle cap. And so people read this and they're like, oh, all the Quakers are dead. Well, that's not true. We're still here. And we're a valid, and exciting religious path for a lot of folks. Many who don't even know about us yet.
Well, I've seen a lot of people who have just started learning about Quakerism through the video and through the Huffington Post, and you've got some great annotated links at the end of the video for folks who are totally new to Quakerism and are interested in learning what those weird quotes were at the bottom of the screen when the nonsensical choruses are supposed to be happening. So you had this idea, you saw this video on YouTube, and it seemed pretty easy to take that idea and run with it. But it wasn't just you running with it. I saw on your website that there were tons of folks who were involved in this. So how many people in all starred in it and helped and supported the process in the end?
About 40. Yeah. About 40 people worked on this video, and almost all of them you see on screen, like maybe 30 of them you see on screen. Mm-hmm. And a large majority of those were friends. Like it's maybe 35 Quakers worked on this, and then sort of like 5 non-Quakers who were just sort of friends that I have that are into filmmaking, or and then also George Fox is a friend of mine who I know through sort of Burning Man circles. And I just went on my Facebook page and I was like, who looks like George Fox? Oh, Emin does. And then also he's this amazing professional hula hooper. I mean, he does a lot of other things professionally too. And so it was just like, oh, that's gonna be perfect. So, yeah, but a lot of folks worked on it, and I'm really grateful for all of their labor.
And how'd you organize all those people? How did they all come together? Was it
mostly by email? I sent a lot of emails out, just being like, "Hey, are you free on this day? Can you come?" And I tried to get a diverse demographic, like young folks, old folks, white folks, people of color, tried to get all of those folks, something that wouldn't, that would look as diverse as a Quaker meeting does, which, unfortunately isn't diverse enough. Like, we need to work harder on that. But at least getting to where our Quaker meetings look right now was pretty important to me. Yeah. And, just asking folks to come and be part of this. And then doing sort of the other preparations, like tracking down lights, getting a camera, all the things that are necessary to make a movie.
It was a day-long shoot?
There were 2 shoots. Okay. There was one day in the meeting house, and then there was a second day that was in the forest and the jail. Mm-hmm. And also the Disco Globe. Those all the George Fox shots were shot on a separate day. And it was good that we did that, because it was a lot of work to just get all the meeting room shots. And so to shoot on a second day I'd never done that before. I've made a bunch of movies, but I've always shot one day, and to shoot on 2 days is definitely a much more luxurious experience. I mean, you probably shot Friend Speaks My Mind in one day, right?
The dance party erupts in Quaker meeting for worship. Yeah, that was actually shot in like 40 minutes. we did 3 takes.
Wow.
Yeah, it was an editing nightmare. That's for impressive. The guy that ended up editing it, because he didn't really have much to work from. A lot of the shots were like, well, this was the only shot at that moment that we could use for this.
Yeah, we probably shot. We started at 1 p.m. and we shot until 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. Mm-hmm. So I think it was about an 8-hour shoot, and that left us rooms for breaks, because our smoke machine set off the fire alarm, and the fire department came, and so there were moments like that we really needed a little bit of extra time to deal with. They were very friendly about it, very sweet. As was Framingham Friends Meeting. They were awesome.
Yeah. Awesome. So Ben, I wanted to ask you about the song in particular. What was the process for rewriting the lyrics, and who had the idea to put the George Fox quotes in underneath during that chorus?
Yeah. So Lisa has this idea, and I love the idea, but I can't figure out how to do it, because what's so hilarious about the original song is those choruses, and if you take those out and put George Fox's words in, it's no longer funny. And I'd seen a bunch of parodies of the Fox already, and that's what many of them do. They just sort of remove those particular nonsense lyrics and replace them with whatever they're talking about farming or about, dating drama or whatever. And so Will Jennings, Hess, Honor Woodrow, Michelle Brimage, and I were driving to a joint sort of ministry and council permanent board meeting for New England Yearly Meeting. So it was a 2-hour drive. And I was like, I want to talk about this. I want to figure this out because I can't figure out how to do it. And like Will said the obvious thing, which is like, you can't get rid of those lyrics. Right? And I hadn't thought of it as like a constraint before. Like I was just thinking like, how do you make this funny? And as well as informative. And then I can't remember who came up with it, but then we just sort of, there are subtitles in the original video. And so it just seemed like put those subtitles on and that'll work. And, you know, I think it kind of does, you know. It was fun having Will sing those nonsense lyrics, and then it was fun to just sort of put the George Fox quotes underneath. We just sent a DVD of it to Cuba Yearly Meeting, and so I redid the subtitles in Spanish. And I kind of wonder, like, what a native Spanish speaker thinks, because they're hearing these hattie, hattie, hattie hoes, and they're reading, like, you know, George Fox's Ministry. And I mean, like, surely they must know that that's not what we're actually saying in English. But I wonder if they think, like, we're having them on, or I don't know. So that'll be interesting to get some feedback about when they actually watch the video.
So and it's Matt's voice that's singing the new lyrics that you all rewrote?
It's Will Jennings Hess, yeah.
Oh, Will, yeah.
Yeah.
And cool.
And I think he does a fantastic job.
Yeah. So let's talk about the costumes. You guys chose to do this sort of quietist or like even 17th century with the almost like stereotypical Quaker, like you know, confuse us with the Amish bonnets and broad brims. How'd you guys have that decision, and then how'd you scrounge up those costumes?
I guess I had a vision that I wanted a lot of things to happen in the video. You know, I knew it was only going to be 3 minutes, but I wanted people to be like, wait, what was that? And then go back and watch the whole thing again and be like, oh, they're playing Wink there, or oh, they're dressed up in these costumes there, and oh, they're playing The Big Wind Blows there, and all that. So I wanted that sort of feeling in it. And I definitely wanted dancing, you know, like the original video. And so I kind of asked everybody to bring sort of more boring clothes and then more interesting clothes. And I was talking to Beth Kalia, who's another member of New England Yearly Meeting. She works as our religious education coordinator. And she's like, you know, I have all of these plain dress costumes because we sometimes do, you know, like youth sort of godly play theater kind of stuff. And I was like, you do? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, can you bring them? And so her husband, Jeremiah Dickinson, brought them. And, you know, and then we got all these people, some of whom weren't even Quakers, you know, to put on the bonnets. And then I had a lot of sort of costume wear because I go to Burning Man many years, and that requires, you know, a different sort of dress. So a lot of the sort of more psychedelic costumes belong to me. And a lot of the hats too. So like that sort of strange like onesie, the red onesie that Jonah's wearing, and then also the yellow stylized mismatched outfit that Adam is wearing. Those are mine.
Nice. So when you guys posted it, did you have any idea that it would attract the amount of attention that it has? I mean, getting picked up by the Huffington Post, and you guys are at what, 120,000 something?
Yeah. I was hopeful. I mean, I felt like I had a leading, you know, and I felt like I didn't underrun it and I didn't outrun it. And, you know, and then, I mean, but, you know, making movies or making art in general is just like, you know, it's like you give it up to the world and then the world sort of sees where it fits. And, you know, I've made plenty of movies that haven't caught on at all. And sometimes that's because there was a problem with the movie. You know, it was too long or something like that. But sometimes it wasn't. But this, I think, was, you know, I hope, something that was meaningful to a lot of folks. And I'm really pleased by it. So I was hopeful, but I'm very pleased.
Great. So when's the next one? What are you guys gonna spoof next?
I don't know. I've been working on a movie about Friends from New England Yearly Meeting that's a sort of simpler documentary piece where people talk directly about what Quakerism, and especially Quakerism in New England, has meant to them. And I expect that, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the next film I finish. I'm about half done that now. I have to do another series of interviews, so I'm excited about that. I would like to do another one of these, though. I think it'd be fun, and like I think George Fox said a lot of really wise and amazing things, but he's not the only Quaker who's done so. And so the idea of having a music video about John Woolman or about James Naylor or about Lucretia Mott or about Susan B. Anthony or about Bayard Rustin, I mean, that's pretty exciting to me. And I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of names that should be on that list that aren't. So, hopefully we'll do another one. I don't know when. Hopefully this year.
Well, that's awesome. We'll all be looking out for it. Do you want to plug your YouTube channel there, or however people can follow along?
Sure. Yeah. So go to Ben Guaraldi, the YouTube channel. Hopefully John will put a link up or something like that. So I'll point to the link. It's right here. And and then you could check out What Does George Fox Say, and see some of my other films. Great.
Well, thanks so much for talking with me, Ben. It's been interesting hearing about the process, and I'm excited to see you see what comes next. Yeah.
Thanks so much, John. I'm really flattered to be here, and I'm really excited about this project of yours too. I think Quaker Speak is really a valuable tool to sort of show friends that we can use new media to really communicate in clearer and deeper ways. So thank you so much for doing this, and I'm really excited.
Yeah, so that's a great segue to an outro where I encourage people again to check out the teaser for Quaker Speak, which is sort of like an interview format YouTube channel that's coming out of Friends Journal in March. So thanks so much, Ben. Have a good one.
Yeah. Thanks, John.